Okay, this is number 16 off of 4.3 and had a question about how to rationalize the denominator. And so we are going to use the conjugate of the denominator. And so that would be square root 2 plus 4. And then up in the numerator, we're going to FOIL. So root 2 times root 2 is going to be 2, or you could do square root 4 and reduce to 2. On the outside, I'm going to have a 4 root 2. On the inside, I'm going to have the same thing, another 4 root 2. And then here at the end, I'm going to have 16. And then that's going to be over, let's see, sorry, my phone distracted me there. This is a plus b, a minus b, so it'll be a squared minus b squared. So square root 2 squared would make 2, and then minus 4 squared would be 16. And if you FOIL that out, you'll get to this exact same spot. And now I'm going to combine my like terms. So up in the numerator, I got a 2 and a 16, so I'm going to make that an 18 right there. I have 4 root 2's plus 4 more root 2's. So that's going to make 8 root 2's all together over 2 minus 16, so that will be a negative 14. And then, so here's the kind of weird part about this. We don't love negatives in denominators. So like if I write negative 1/2, for instance, we usually write the negative up in the numerator, or we write it right in front of the fraction bar. But the way we usually don't write it is like that. And so these are kind of the preferred version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by negative 1 over negative 1. So this is really just 1. But what it's going to do is put those signs, those negative signs, up in the numerator. And you don't have to do that, but it's a little bit more proper. And here we'd have 8 over 2, and then negative and negative, so that makes a positive 14. And then the last thing I can do is if the same number divides into all 3 of these numbers, that means it reduces. A way I could look at it is by factoring. I can factor a 2 out of every single one of these numbers. So for instance, this would be negative 2 times 9, 2 times 4, root 2, and 2 times 7. So I'm noticing all of these are divisible by this 2, and so what that lets me do then is reduce a 2 out of all of those terms. So looking at it from here, I don't usually write all this. I just go, okay, 2 goes into everything. That means I cancel out a 2. So I go 2 goes into 18. That'd leave me negative 9. 2 goes into 8 minus 4 root 2. And that it goes into this means it doesn't have to go into that, because think about it, if you're canceling, let's say we had 6x over 2. We could totally write that as 3x. So that's the same thing that we're doing here. And then 2 into 14 would be a 7 right there. So same thing that we get writing it out and canceling. So that is a tough problem, so there's lots of places to get hung up on there. I think it has about every kind of obnoxious, sneaky thing that can happen, and one of these did happen. So good example in that it has all the sneaky, obnoxious things, but definitely a tough problem.